kingdom, one of them is kingdom Animalia. In Animalia, there are 12 phylums. The phylum Chordate has subphylum Vertebrata, and Vertebrata has a class Reptilia. So we are going to see the class Reptilia. Now, what is Reptilia? Reptilia, that is reptiles. So in Latin, raper or reptum is the word to creep or crawl. To creep or crawl, just like snake, it's just crawling or creeping, kind of sliding. So Latin raper or rectum, to creep or crawl. Now the class name refers to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. So in Latin, raper or rectum, to creep or crawl. Now reptiles are mostly terrestrial animals. Mostly, because some reptiles like crocodiles, they live both on land and water, right? But mostly they are terrestrial animals, and their body is covered by dry and cornified skin, epidermal scales or scutes, right? Epidermal scales or scutes. So just take turtle, legs of turtle, it has epidermal scales or scutes. If you have ever seen the snake, they have some kind of scales or scutes, right? And it is dry. So they are mostly terrestrial animals, and their body is covered by dry cornified skin and epidermal scales or scutes. Okay. Now heart is usually three chambered. Heart is usually three chambered. Like amphibians also have three chambered. But why usually? Because four chambered heart is present in crocodiles, just like humans. So the four chambered heart, these are aves, mammals, and crocodiles. Okay, so this was it. Now snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cards. As I told, that class Reptilia has a dry cornified skin, epidermal scales or scutes. Okay, so this was class Reptilia. And first line, the class name refers to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. In Latin, raper or reptum, to creep or crawl. Just like snake, it's kind of creeping, crawling, it's kind of sleeping, slippery kind of. Now the important thing again is the class Reptilia examples. So number one is a chelon, that is turtle. In the diagram, we will discuss it later. It's above the section. So chelon is turtle. Testuda, commonly known as tortoise. So testuda, tortoise. chameleon, tree lizard, and calots. These are the garden lizards. Crocodilus is crocodile. Alligator, so alligator. Hemidactylus is world lizard. Poisonous snakes is naja, that is commonly known as cobra. Bangarus, commonly known as crate, and vipera is viper. Now, of these, chilon, chameleon, naja, that is cobra, which is poisonous snakes, and crocodiles are given in the figure. You see, so chameleon. Chameleon was on the tree. See, so chameleon, it is a tree lizard in the first diagram. Second one is crocodilus, that is crocodile. Chilon is turtle. Okay, testuda tortoise, we have seen testuda tortoise same. You have to remember calots is garden lizard, and naza, it is a poisonous snake, which is cobra, and Bangarus crate, vipera, viper. So this is it. So chilon, tortoise, chilon and chameleon given in the figure, and calots, you have to remember calots. Okay, garden lizard, and that's it. Hemidactylus generally found in our homes. These are the wall lizards. Hemidactylus wall lizards every day near my window, so I see them daily. So Hemidactylus wall lizard. So this was the class Reptilia, right? And okay, so this was it. Now some questions like the four-chambered heart. Four-chambered heart is present in crocodiles, aves, and mammals. And aves and mammals are homeothermous. It means they maintain their body temperature. They can maintain their body temperature. But crocodile is a poikilotherms. Crocodile is poikilotherm. If you put crocodile in snow, the crocodile just accept the snow. That's it. It will not resist the snow, right? So this was class Reptilia. We have discussed examples, 2-3 important lines under the subphylum vertebrata of phylum Chordata, which is under the animal kingdom, one of the kingdom in R.H. Whitaker, given by R.H. Whitaker, right? So this was it. If you want some more, wait. On this side. So on this side we see this table, very important. Okay, wait. So on this side we see the table. So difference between the chordates and non chordates. Okay, so the chordates and non chordates. What is notochord? Notochord, it is a rod like structure. Is present. Figure 4.16 shows the notochord is below the nerve cord. Nerve cord is a part of central nervous system. We talking about the humans. Our heart is on the ventral side. It is on upper chest region, right? In the front side, if it stand. So this is ventral side. Dorsal side means the back side. Sternum is on the ventral side. It's the front side, right? Dorsal is the back side, right? Now, so in notochordates, notochord is present. Non-chordates, this is why, because notochord is absent, this is why they are non-chordates. Now central nervous system, that is nerve cord. Talking about nerve cord, it is dorsal. See, I told you in the figure shows the chordata characteristics. Take example human. So our central nervous system, that is nerve cord, is dorsal. It is hollow and single. Hollow and single. We born single, right? So we born single with the single nerve cord, and central nervous system makes the opposite. In the non-chordates, central nervous system is ventral. It is on the back. It is on the back side. That is right. It is on the back side. It is solid and it is double. Okay. So you can think like an insect. When born, they have lots of friends. So this is why they are double. They are double. So insects, they are very small. Insects, ants. So they are always double, right? They have lots of friends. So the central nervous system, that is nerve cord, is ventral, solid and double. Now the again third feature is pharynx perforated by gill slits. So in chordates, take the fishes, eh, fishes respire through gills for sure. So you can think like gill slits are present in chordates for sure. Now pharynx perforated by gill slit. You have to remember this. Pharynx perforated by gill slits. And gill slits are absent in non-chordates. Just absent. Don't think in invertebrates there are insects. They might have gill slits to respire. In echinoderms there is water vascular system and all that, but they do not possess gill slits as given in the ncert. So gill slits are absent in non-chordates. Okay, in hemichordate and all these phylums do not possess gill slits. It's okay. Now heart generally. Now heart is ventral. Our human heart, take I told you chest region is the ventral side. Okay, so heart is ventral on the front side, but heart is dorsal if present on the back side, right? Now posternal tail. We monkeys, take example monkeys, they have the functional tail, but we humans, they are just useless right now. So but a posternal part, that is tail, is present in chordates, but non-chordates posternal tail is completely absent. Because monkeys do not belong to hemichordates, and hemichordates and non-chordates, but mammals do possess. Okay, mammals. Okay, monkey in mammals. So these are the chordates. So they possess the tail. Anyways, so this is the comparison of chordates and non-chordates. You see the characteristics chordates. You see the nerve cord is on the upside. Just remember that the nerve cord is above the notochord. That's it. Nerve cord is above the notochord. Okay, and then below it there are gill slits, pharynx perforated by gill slits, and postanal part is postanal part is also present. Now some features given in here. Okay, I read the text right now because sometimes text is also important. This is getting it's very time taking, very time taking. So, in chordates, in phylum chordates, animals belonging to phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of nerve cord. I told you nerve cord, it is a rod-like structures. When we born, we get the nerve cord. That's it. Then, talking about the nervous system, central nervous system includes the nerve cord, which is a dorsal because it is on the back side. You have to remember this. Very confusing, ventral and dorsal, and this nerve cord and notochord, very confusing. So dorsal hollow nerve cord, then paired pharyngeal gill slits. Okay, take the example of fishes because fishes have the gills. So per paired pharyngeal gill slits. Okay, mostly all chordates are bilateral symmetrical because their body divides into two halves in vertical plane. So this is bilateral symmetry. Triple plastic. Okay, three germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Triple plastic. Coelomates because the body cavity is lined by the mesoderm. Okay, it's kind of pseudocoelomates in Oschelminthes and acoelomates in Platyhelminthes. Organ system level of organization, like cellular in sponges, tissue in cylinderates and ctenophores, and Platyhelminthes onwards organ and organ system level started. So obviously chordates have organ system level of organizations. Okay, and they possess a post-anal tail. I told you monkey has tail under the chordates. This is the chordate characteristics, and a closed circulatory system. Generally and mostly it is closed circulatory system. So this was about the comparison of chordates and non-chordates. Very important topic, very important topic. Okay, this diagram is also important and everything in here is important. Okay, and on this page, if you have seen, let's discuss this also. Why to leave this? Let's discuss this also. So we have seen the phylum Chordata, right? Now phylum Chordata has subphylum Vertebrata. There is a fly. Okay. So subphylum Vertebrata, we discuss here the members of subphylum Vertebrata. Why they are subphylum Vertebrata? Why they are different from this Urochordata or Tunicata, Cephalochordata. Okay, why this is different from all these chordates and right? So the reason is Vertebrata possess notochord. They also possess notochord, right? Urochordata, Tunicata, Cephalochordata, all these creatures also possess the notochord, but the special thing is they do possess the notochord. This plies in here is kind of interfering. Anyways, so members of subphylum Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period. Okay, when the embryo is born, when you are born with the notochord. I hope so. The notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column. So this is the special thing. This is why it is differentiated from Urochordata, Cephalochordata, right? The notochord is replaced by cartilaginous. Cartilage touch your nose tip, touch your ears. Okay, that soft region. So these are the kind of cartilage thing that can, it's kind of rubber, right? Simply, or bony vertebral column, a little bit bony. So cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Okay, so this is why we can stand. Okay, I okay. So thus all vertebrates, and this is why thus all vertebrates are chordates. That's why, and this is the reason they are all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are non vertebrates. Again, the one questions, Why all chordates are not vertebrates? Because this is the definitely condition happen in subphylum vertebrata, but this condition may happen or may not happen in these things like Urochordata, Cephalochordata. Okay, but for sure vertebrata, this thing happens that the notochord, the embryonic notochord, is replaced by a cartilaginous bony vertebral column in the adult. So that's it. Thus, all vertebrates, it means all vertebrates like humans, aves, and all these fishes, the all vertebrates are chordates. These are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates because there are urochordate, tunicate, cephalochordate. The notochord is okay. All these present only in larval stage of urochordata if you see given in here. Okay, you see in above in here I also read that in urochordata notochord is present only in larval tail, while in cephalochordata it extends from head to tail region and is persistent throughout their life. So it is persistent. Okay, so this was the reason. Besides the basic chordate characters, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with two, three, or four chambers. Two chamber in fishes, three chamber in amphibia and reptiles, four chambers in crocodiles, saves, and mammals. Kidneys for excretion and osmoregulation, and paired appendages which may be fins or limbs. Fins in fishes, limbs in amphibians, reptiles, and okay, wings in aves and mammals. So this was some few topics we have discussed. Class Reptilia. We have discussed comparison of chordates and non chordates. We have also discussed that why vertebrates, all vertebrates are chordates but all chordates are not vertebrates. So we have discussed these things in this. Okay.